Hey, beloved. So, excuse me. First of all, I want to say hi. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And I wanted to show you some parts of your mom's book that I thought were very interesting from my readings for today. Um, One was talking about how your Uncle Johnny didn't want to play pickup or basketball. And so your grandmother, I'm sorry, let me make sure I get it right. Yeah, here it goes. She taught him how to sew. And his mother, Selena, provided a daily master's class. So I believe it was your mom, your okay, let me get it right. Mama Tina's mom or your grandmother, and Selena. I'm assuming that's your mom's sister. Um, Giving him classes in sewing, and how I learned that he was very much gifted in doing so, and so he made a lot of different um, uh, outfits because of the fact that he knew he had that gift. So that was a beautiful story to hear about. I also heard about how your mom's sister, older sister Flo, how she uh, did a sitting at a lunch table at a luncheon at luncheon. Sorry, getting all my words mixed up. They just sit in at a lunch counter. There we go. And how it made the news, as it says here, and it was called the Negro Sit Downers. Um, and how not only did that happen, but also next page talks about how they did the same thing at Dairy Queen, and how um, your grandmother did not want Flo to go, and so she was forced to take your mom with her, and so thankfully, because of your mom's ability to persuade the cops, they ended up letting your aunt go. Um, but that was interesting because um, that was during the time of the sit-ins and everything with the desegregation, everything that was going on. So the fact that your mom, even at a young age, was a part of it in her own way. It's very interesting to see the fact that it's only what a generation difference. Um, Also, um, how your uncle, I believe it was Skip, yeah, Uncle Skip. Hold up, make sure I get it right. Yeah, Uncle Skip called one of the nuns the B word and took her ruler. And the last thing I saw was that was quite a moment. And then he had to have um, they had to pray over him, and the father came, and they brought Skip back to school, and then the father of the church came and like did this whole prayer and stuff because Skip apparently was, the devil had his way with Skip at that time. Um, and the next one, when they told your mom to make up a dance, a Spanish dance, and then she got in trouble for the dance she created. It's like she can't win. It's like nothing your mom did at school. So that was how Holy Rosary ended in this chapter. Nothing would be enough. I agree. And so they just couldn't appreciate your mom's talent, her life, her vivacity, her vitality. They just didn't understand it. They couldn't deal. And so I'm grateful that, thankfully, she was able to go to Booker T. Washington. And I thought this was a funny chapter, reading within the lines. Everything about this chapter was hilarious to me. I'm sorry, I had this to mark the pages so I know which chapters where they start and where they end. Let me take this one off and go to the pages. All right, here we go. So, I was sad that your mother was in the hospital. Your grandmother was in the hospital. I'm not sure why, but it was amazing in terms of the timing because Larry, your Uncle Larry, had to sign you up to go to school. And so, excuse me. So, she wanted to not have her name, her beautiful first name, as her name at the school. She wanted to go by Tina Beyonce, and so your Uncle Skip was like, "No, you're gonna go by the name that your grandmother gave her." But she said, you know, she wants to go by Tina, and you know, I read the part too. It said you can call yourself anything you want, but they're gonna use what's on your birth certificate, CD. They have to. And then she said, you don't have to give it to them. And then Larry didn't answer. That was great. And then it's very interesting. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, I'm just reading. I'm reading. I'm making a video. Because I'm making a video. I'll say it sounds like I'm talking to somebody. Because I'm making a video. Now that I know your mom was born on January 4th, 1954, I know what age she is because that was the same time as this guy. So that was a blessing to understand and to learn. And it's such a coincidence because, you know, her birthday was just yesterday, and now reading this chapter and talks about how both Brown v. Board and now they're 10 years, you know, and he was just now 10 years old when the desegregation of Galveston happened, but that's how long it had taken since it was trying to take effect. Yeah, and the fact that the secretary at the school was getting ready to say, well, okay, what's your name? And then Larry cleared his throat and told Mama T to tell her her name. And then this is what Mama T said. And then with the she asked for the birth certificate, and said, "We'll have to bring it back to you later." Oh my goodness! And so yeah, that was a great moment. And then the next page, let me see. This. Oh, how she got what's the word? She got up moved up from where she was in the from a lower group to a higher group, to the B group, from Miss Oliver's class to Miss Barrow's class, and then she met her friend Vernell. What's Vernell's last name? Jackson. Yeah, there you go, Vernell Jackson. And how at lunchtime, one girl said, "I'm gonna fight you." And the girl was like, and your mom was like, so this whole part was weird. So let's see. I just want to read it. Yeah, so I make it like bring it to life. Okay, here we go. I was drinking my milk when this girl came up to me with 3 girls flanking her. "Just so you know, Mary Elizabeth is going to fight you after school." The talker rocked back and forth with the air of a boxing promoter, Don King in box braids. "Me? Yeah," she said, pulling this pretty girl to her side. "Tell her. I'm gonna fight you," the girl murmured. "I don't know you." "I know you," she said it like a question. "I know you?" She said it like a question, and grimaced when little Don King slapped her back. "Yeah, said Don King. She does. This is my cousin, and she's gonna kick your ass. So you're Mary Elizabeth, and you want to fight me? I asked the girl. Don King snorted. Yes. Are you dumb? No, but I asked her. I mean, I was ready to fight whoever. Then meet us after school, she said. Miss Sims. And Miss Sims, the whole story about Miss Sims' quarter story was hilarious too. Alright, that page. Oh my goodness. I could not breathe during the section. I was trying to keep myself together. It said, let me see, and how it was a bunch of people around. I did see that part. And then I saw in there too that everybody was behind Mary Elizabeth and nobody was standing behind your mom. I mean, yeah, behind your mom. And then I felt so bad for the little girl, Mary Elizabeth. Even the name sounds precious. Like, why would anybody like that want to fight? Don King is just, that girl, whoever Don King is to Mary Elizabeth is a terrible, terrible example. So okay, so they were about to fight, and then all of a sudden, Skip comes and saves the day. And then, what are you doing? He asked. I was about to beat that girl. Who? I couldn't tell you. I said. Then you and then her and Miss Vernell Jackson became friends. And then I did feel sad about your grandfather's story. That was really sad to hear about his breeding. And I think it just really goes to show you how much we take that type of skill for granted, especially in our community. Not to say that, you know, it is it's just something that we take for granted, you know, just like knowing the English language and the fact that it's an international language. Similar with reading, English being an international type of method for a written content. Not to say it's the strongest language, you know, Sanskrit, Latin, a lot stronger in terms of their powers metaphysically, because English is a very weak type of language in terms of what do you call it? Yep, and that's why you have to be more selective about what you choose to say because of the power that it holds, but the power that it lacks at the same time. But you talk about spelling, and it literally has the word spell in it, you know, or mornings, and you think about, you know, there's morning that you wake up, there's morning that you die, you know. So it's a very interesting language, whereas Sanskrit and Latin and French and Italian or Spanish too, all have a little bit more of a better pull rather than what we have in English. But anyway, despite all that, the fact that your grandfather was, you know, had this issue, and the fact that your mother, through your Aunt Chloe, realizing that was what he had, but the fact that she told him that what was in the card, I love you, I have the best daddy in the world, and the fact that you know, he received it, you know, right there, meant a lot. And last but not least, when your Uncle Skip decided to try to do integration, the Civil Rights Act allowed for freedom of choice. With the school he chose to go to being big in football, which leads me to the next chapter, which was very sad. Hellhounds on our trail. I don't even want to really go into too much of this because it's really sad for me to listen to that. But the fact that someone has put something in his drink, and then he had an issue in terms of trying to get home, and they gave the cab driver the wrong address, and the fact that he ended up at the neighbor's house, and how the lady, let me get the lady, Miss Patrick, that's what it is, yeah. Miss Patrick, and how he passed out on her chair, or on her porch rather, or rocker, and she couldn't see his face, and she didn't know who it was, and so she called the cops, and then the cops saw your Uncle Skip's a very big dude, and so just getting scared, and then nudging him, and then provoking him, and then swatting at him, and then scaring him, and woke him up. But then because he's kind of agitated because of that medicine that they gave him, ending up reacting in a surprising way, but offensive more than defensive, and so then more cops got called, and it became a whole thing. And then the next day, after everything that happened, Lord knows the prayers that went up that night. I can only imagine, because it talks about the bench that they would use, and how he got beat by each of the officers until the next day they brought him back, and thankfully he was okay, but his eye was swollen, he had a gash in his head, blood all over his shirt, but God is good, he was still alive. So that's where I'll end it. There is more to the next chapter I was going to read tonight. After Hellhounds on Our Trail, I'm going to read the next chapter, which was An Education and Liberation. And that's a September 1968. Actually, you know what? I'm missing one. Make sure I did this right. I'm sorry. I can't going every whole time to adjust myself. Yeah, there we go. I thought I said something else. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the Veltones. It sounds like velvet and tones at the same time. Veltones. I like that. It's smooth. It's like those velvet Veltones. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this chapter. The next chapter is an educational version. So I will put my bookmark right there, and looking forward to reading some more tomorrow.